Hello, this is Steven Ramsden with solarastronomy.org. Today we're going to explain how to take a decent photograph through a Lunt Solar Systems telescope with a DSLR camera. It's pretty rough to get a good photo, but you can get some pretty decent stuff. So what we're going to start with is this Lunt Solar Systems 80mm H-alpha scope with an external 60mm for a double stack. Right now I've got the B1200 blocking filter in here, and I used a 2-inch adapter which Lunt will sell to you if you don't already have one, and it just screws on and replaces the 1 1/4-inch adapter, as you can see. So right now I've got a 2-inch Baader Hyperion zoom eyepiece. I'm going to get the sun in focus, find out where it is. About there. Get it in the center. And everything's cool. Got it already adjusted for everything. Take out the ailerons adjusted, that is. I got the ailerons adjusted beforehand so I'd make sure I was on tuning, because it's fairly difficult to do it with the camera by looking at the live view, which is not very good. Now I can focus it with just this zero-length adapter for the Canon, but it gives me a small disc image. So what I'm going to do is use this Teleplus 2X teleconverter, which is standard equipment for a camera. Put my adapter on my empty barrel on the end of that, the zero-length adapter. See if we can get it on here. Okay. Get out my Canon 7D. Of course, I'm using the 7D to film this video, so we're going to use the 40D as an example. But you just stick it on your Canon camera body, like so. Like so. Slide it into the eyepiece adapter. Turn on the live view, and voila! I'm now looking at the sun in hydrogen alpha through my Canon camera. We're going to talk about how to make it look a little better in the next portion of the video. And that's Steven Ramsden with solarastronomy.org. Come join the fun, y'all. Okay, so now we've got the Canon 7D connected to the B1200 with the 2X tele extender and just a hollow 2-inch zero-length barrel. I changed the sun, or at least I changed the color balance for the camera to a custom color balance. What I did is took a photograph of it with just a normal white balance, and then I went in and chose that photograph as my custom white balance shot. And what it's done is it's given it a nice yellow hue with brighter orange prominences. And I can't really zoom in very much right now, but the prominences show up really nicely in this. It gives sort of a red ring for the spicules. So this is currently on 1/30th of a second with ISO 2000. And you can see if I turn up the exposure, the ISO, it gives me a whole different look. If I turn it down, go back to the standard pink H-alpha, that's actually the exposure. That's 1/250th of a second. And as I go through the different levels, the white balance kicks in and makes it an orange star. Now this is a lower ISO, 640, 500, 400. Think of the ISO as the gamma from your normal camera that you use. Lower the gamma, the better the contrast, but the image suffers as well. So go back up to about, I don't know, I like 1250 ISO, looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and take a photograph right now. Now that's back to the video. And I'm using a manual guided. Okay, so this is the same setup using the monochrome feature on the Canon camera, and I'm at a very low ISO setting now. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. There's 1000, 1250, 1600, 2000, 2500. Some of the disc details are coming in. 4000 ISO. It looks like 3200 seems about right. And this is a 1/30th of a second exposure. Let's move that down. There's different exposure settings on the Canon 7D video. I like that one the best. And there's probably some potential with this. And I'll give it a shot when I get home. But that's what it looks like with the 2X teleconverter on a Canon 7D using the highest resolution video setting they have. And again, this is IS 3200. More information at www.solarastronomy.org. Okay, this is with the second Etalon attached, the LS60F. And when I tune the Etalon, you can see that the spot goes back and forth. There's sort of a hot spot with the external Etalon, but that's about as good as the tuning as I can get. And if I turn up the ISO too high, that's 12,400 ISO. That's as high as my 7D will go. And when I turn it back down, let's see, that's 6,400, 5,000, 4,000, 3,200, 2,500. I can go pretty low with it, and that's the image you get there. Now this is not using the white balance, I don't believe. Anyway, let's go back up with it. That's there. That's ISO. Let's try auto. There's the auto ISO. That's what it thinks it should be. I'm not real fond of that, so I'm going to go back up to say 2,000. Let's make it 6,400 ISO, and that's with the double stacked Etalon. And as you can see, it's nowhere close to the images you'll get with a DMK or a PGR camera or the Lunt Solar Imager. But it is a pretty easy setup because there's no wires to connect to anything, there's no power supply, and that's about it. There's no processing either. And that's what it looks like with the double stacked Etalon and the Canon 7D with a TeleVue 2X. Man, that's awesome. Okay, so we're back to the Baader Hyperion Mark III zoom after shooting with the DSLR for a while. And I hope this motivates you to get out and look at the sun more. I know I love doing it, and I love sharing it with the public even more. We've got an international outreach club called the Charlie Bates Solar Astronomy Project Outreach Club. If you'd like to get involved, come on over to my chat forum. It's no limits, no moderators, everything's welcome. You can embed videos. The address is solarchat.nadka.net, or you can just get to it from my main website, solarastronomy.org. Hope everybody enjoyed the video, and you can do some pretty decent shooting with a DSLR. You're not going to compare with the high-speed DMK type or PGR type cameras, but it is one way you can look at the sun and enjoy it. Now get out there and look up more. There it is, baby. Doesn't get any more beautiful than that. That's my baby. CharlieBates.org, solarastronomy.org. Adios, amigos.